What's up, everybody? This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603, and you're going to have to forgive my low production quality here. This is kind of an emergency video. It's not one I want to have to make at all, so I'm actually pretty upset to have to make this video. But here we go. Yet again, here in the state of New Hampshire, let's call them authorities having jurisdiction, feel as if they have the right to detain people for extended amounts of time who have not even been accused of a crime, take away their access to a phone, and refuse incoming phone calls from anybody. So here's what happened. And I'm going to summarize. I'm making this video for my brother, Harry. He's not my blood brother, but he's my brother. He's been on my videos a bunch of times. He's on the cover photo with me for the Savage Truth 603 Facebook page. He's a loyal dog, and he is my brother. Somebody in his life, and I'm going to leave this person out of it because I don't know this person personally, and it's not my place to speak on this person. Somebody in his life, after a bit of a verbal disagreement, contacted the police department and said that Harry was threatening suicide and put a gun to his head. And I know enough about Harry to know right off the bat that an accusation like that is 100% false. The problem is, the tyrants that we have surrounded ourselves with think that they have the authority to basically kidnap people, detain them against their will for an undetermined amount of time without pressing any charges against them, force them to be disarmed, and deny access from everybody that cares about them with absolutely no due process whatsoever. So think about that for just a second. New Hampshire tobacco is the best tobacco. Think about this for a second. Anybody can accuse you of anything. Dealing drugs, suicidal expressions. And if you're human, you've thought about suicide. I know I have. It doesn't mean I'm suicidal. It doesn't mean I would ever hurt anybody or myself. But it's a human thing to think about. You know, we're complex creatures. But anybody can make an accusation, and every single right you have is stripped away. Now, we just went through legislation to enact a red flag law here in New Hampshire. And it was shot down. It was voted against. Why? Because it's unconstitutional. Because it takes away people's rights. But somehow, my brother has been red flagged. They put him in Exeter Hospital this happened Monday. Today is now Thursday. They put him in Exeter Hospital on Monday. Now, I had no idea about this. I got contacted through a mutual friend of ours who was like, hey, do you know what's going on with Harry? And the only reason he knew was because somebody contacted him. Immediately, I called Exeter Hospital, and they said he's unavailable, but they'll have him call me. Well, that was at like 11:30. And by 3 o'clock, I still hadn't heard from him. That's not Harry. That's not like Harry. He would never make me wait. So I told Keith. our mutual friend. I said, if I have to, I will go to Exeter Hospital and I will refuse to leave until they let me put my eyes on Harry. Because basically what they've done is kidnapped him. Just because his almost identified this person. Just because somebody in his life who has a grudge against him made an accusation. There was no due process there. They showed up at his house. They demanded that he disarm himself. And like any good patriot, he refused. Disarm. Who the fuck do you think you are? So he called somebody in law enforcement that he trusts. Again, I'm going to leave this person out of it. I spoke to him directly, and I will say that I got a really, really, really good vibe from him. He's a stand-up guy. Harry called him. He went down there immediately, and may have been, I'm guessing it was probably an exaggeration, but Harry said that when he refused to disarm, it became a sort of standoff, and there was 100 cops in his yard. And I'm sure it wasn't 100, but I'm sure there was dozens. I'm sure there was dozens, considering the fact that when I got arrested at the governor's house, there was easily 20 to 25 state troopers there. And it was an even less escalated situation, I guess, if you will. So law enforcement friend goes, basically gives Harry a hug and says, I'm gonna make sure that you're okay. You gotta comply, you know? That's basically what it comes down to, comply or die. He didn't say that. Those are my words. So he did. And they locked him in the hospital, in Exeter Hospital, for 3 days and denied him access to anybody. He wasn't even allowed to go to the bathroom without permission, and they wouldn't respond to him when he was asking. They told him they were inundated with phone calls. And he told them, if you don't give me access to my people, they're going to come down here. And that's exactly what I said I was going to do. If I hadn't heard from Harry by today, I was going to go down there, and I wasn't going to leave until I got answers. Because you can't kidnap people for nothing, because somebody who has a grudge against them makes a claim. That's not America. That's Gestapo shit. So thankfully I heard from Harry this morning, and everything I've said in this video is based on the conversations that he and I have had. I'm not making any of this up. I'm not embellishing any of this. He's literally been taken prisoner over nothing. He's had to remove all of his guns from his house, and his vehicle, and turn him over to. He turned him over to his law enforcement contact, somebody that he trusted, and in return, they not this person he trusted, but the state locked him up like a criminal. He didn't do anything. And here's where shit gets wild. He's in there now. So he calls me this morning, and he's now at Clinton Street, Fruit Street, the state mental hospital. And he told me that even though the state has the right to do a 72-hour emergency hold on somebody's psychiatric evaluation. Well, that doesn't start until you get to the state hospital. And they can keep you at the hospital for an indefinite amount of time. All the while taking away your access to anybody in the outside world. Think about that. They threatened him. They said, if you try to leave, the time that you have to stay here before you go to the state hospital will be restarted. Basically, if you try to leave, you're going to stay here until we grant you permission to start your 72-hour psychiatric hold. Out of the now 4 days that he's been held against his will, how much time do you think he has spent being evaluated? How much time do you think they've spent digging into Harry's psyche? Because it wouldn't take 4 days to figure out that he's not a dangerous person. It would take about 5 minutes, if that. Harry mentioned my name in there when he was talking to one of the other patients. And when he did, one of the nurses came to a screeching halt, started questioning him about what he was talking about. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask right here real quick. And he told her to mind her own business, whatever. Wasn't talking to her. He was just talking about his buddy. A little while later, the fucking state police show up. 2 detectives from the fucking state police. And guess who they want to know about? Yours truly. In absolute defiance. And you know what they questioned him on? A plot to harm the governor. Are you fucking kidding me? I think in every single video I've ever made, I have repeatedly said, we will never, ever hurt anybody. We will never, ever try to intimidate anybody. That is not the goal here. That is not the end game. Nobody wants to go to prison. Nobody wants to destroy a family man's family. Chris Sununu is a human being. I get that, okay? Nobody wants to bother him in a dangerous way. We want answers. We want to be heard. That's it. Period. End of story. And we have been heard. And we will continue to be heard without violence. No violence ever towards anybody, because that's not how we get things done. It's way easier to send a message without violence. Get that through your heads. I know you're watching me, state police. I know you're watching me, FBI. I know you're watching me, Department of Homeland Security. I have people in these facilities who hear my name. I know you're watching me. I don't care, because I'm never going to do anything to break the fucking law. I don't want to hurt anybody. None of us do. We want to be heard. That's it. You can't take people prisoner because somebody makes an accusation about them. You can't arrest people for their speech. You're done silencing people in this state. If I want to, my biggest goal would be to take Chris Sununu's seat as the governor. Another goal I would love is to stop him from taking Maggie Hassan's seat in 2022. As much as Maggie Hassan is a piece of shit too, he's just another establishment piece of shit. We need to start weeding these people out. We need to start doing it. We need to do it through the political system and through voting and through talking. And that's why they want to shut us up. They don't want to hear what I have to say. You know why? Because they speak the truth. And the truth is fucking dangerous. Way more dangerous than I am. This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603. And for the last fucking time, I'm not going to harm anybody. Absolute defiance is not going to harm anybody. We have no plans to do any sort of thing except make ourselves be heard. And that's exactly what we've done. And guess what? You guys have made yourselves look like asses in the process. Arresting people for stickers, arresting people for trying to have a candlelight vigil. You don't have to get violent. You guys are fucking ruining yourselves. Like, share, subscribe, and get my fucking boy out of the hospital.
Yo, man, you got a free record, bro, off here?
Yeah. Free Talk Live.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
You all right?
Yeah, I'll take your leg. I'll borrow your lungs, too.
Yeah, man. Oh, what you listening to there?
Oh, this is Free Talk Live. You never heard of them? You can call in. You can say whatever you want, man. It's free talk, free speech.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Hell yeah, that's what's up. I'll check them out.
Thanks for the sig, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Have a good day.